Alright, what's up guys? I haven't done a product review in a while, and since I'm changing up my camera gear, I think it's about time. So during my travels, I did all of my video work pretty much with a Canon 70D, kind of the Casey Neistat vlogging rig. And it served its purpose, it did well, but eventually it just kind of got long in the tooth. That camera's several generations old now. The technology has just kind of outpaced it. So I've decided to upgrade, but by upgrading, I'm kind of also downgrading at the same time. So instead of going with a DSLR camera or changing out for a mirrorless camera, I'm going with a GoPro camera for all of my future recording. The GoPro Hero 7 is a really impressive camera. I mean, I avoided getting GoPro cameras and ended up going with kind of some of the more Chinese knockoff cameras because I thought they were pretty comparable until the GoPro Hero 7 came out. It has the smooth autofocus that is just unbelievably better than what it used to be. The audio has improved a little bit, not much, but you can always add a mic. It's way smaller, and honestly, it does pretty well all around, can hold its own against a 70D camera. In fact, it can do a lot of things that my 70D camera couldn't do. So there's a lot of people who've tried to come up with these like crazy vlogging rigs for their GoPros. I have my own that I want to show you. This right here, this is my GoPro vlogging rig. It's pretty simple, it's super lightweight. As you can tell, it's pretty like compact. So I can easily just kind of toss this thing into a backpack, or it's not real heavy to carry around, and there's not a lot of like crazy things hanging off of it that make it really complex to deal with. The first thing that this doesn't have noticeably is the fact that it doesn't have a selfie camera. I just use my phone through wireless to kind of sync things up sometimes, and honestly a lot of the time I don't really need to see myself to film because the GoPro, it's almost always in focus. As long as you're at least, I believe it's 12 inches away from your face, everything is in focus. And it's just one of the features of being a smaller sensor size inside of the camera. I'll walk you through this rig real quick. I've tried a couple different styles and this is what I've settled on. As far as mounting the GoPro, I'm just using the original cage that it came with. People try to buy these like big, bulky, machined aluminum cages to mount everything, and it's way overkill. We've got the mic set up, and since the GoPro doesn't have a mic jack built into it, you have to get the GoPro mic audio adapter. Honestly, I wish more camera companies did this for their cameras when they don't have the mic input. So many cameras have micro USB and USB-C inputs. It just makes sense to have something like this when you don't have the mic input already built into your camera. So I just took this, and a lot of people will try to come up with like ways of like gluing this onto the cage body and like all sorts of crazy contraptions. Honestly, a little Velcro, that works wonders. It holds the USB-C plug in place perfectly. Because it's kind of like flexible and whatnot, it actually almost acts like a shock mount for your mic. For the mic, I'm going with the Utilage ETM001. I'll have a link to that. And then a right angle audio adapter. So that plugs in, this goes into your camera like so. Now when I vlog, mic's facing me, I can record. The audio is really good with that tiny mic. Like you wouldn't think this little mic is as good as some of the other bigger mics out there, but it does great. The GoPro actually has some built-in mic boosting, like amplification, so you can actually get really good audio quality off this tiny little microphone. Now looking at the handle of this thing, this handle on this GoPro, it's just like a cheap GoPro style or action camera style like selfie stick. So the kind where you twist it and you get like the full length. I never really stick this thing out. I kind of just keep it all set and compact. You know, really you're holding this thing at arm's length at most. It's a nice kind of neoprene grip, so it's, you know, it's comfortable in the hand. And then I've attached to the base of the selfie stick this tiny little 1/4-20 tripod mount. It's not huge, but it does the trick. I can easily screw it in and out. So if I want to shorten this thing, I can, but I keep this thing in almost all the time. Because I've got this light on here, it gives me a little bit more reach, so I'm not like hand over top of the light when I'm trying to record. And it does great. I can set it up. I can do all of my vlogging, recording at my desk or whatnot. It's just a really good setup. For light, I'm just using, it's a Godox. The thing is called like an M32. I think they're designed for like your phone technically. So you take this thing and you clip it onto your phone, and you can get like, you know, lighted up selfies or whatever, like, you know, the selfie thing. I just take this, and again, a little piece of Velcro right around the hand grip allows me to clip this thing in, and I can't really slide this thing in and out too well. Run the Velcro through the camera clip or through the light clip, tighten it up. You can actually get it pretty darn tight, and then boom, you know, I've got the light. This allows me to record, and since the GoPro does have kind of a small sensor, the light is really important because, you know, low light, small sensors, they just don't really get along. Even in a fairly well lit room, I'll still use this light to record with, just to give me that little extra boost of volume. I almost always run between 100 and 200 on the ISO with the GoPro. Anything higher than that and it really starts to get grainy. So yeah, I mean, that's really it. I mean, this thing, it's super simple. Like I said, it's compact, it's light, it just works. Like, it's not this like crazy bulky Frankenstein contraption that a lot of the other people trying to record with a GoPro try and do. It's supposed to be compact, like that's why I got it. I don't want to have something that's huge. That's my GoPro vlogging recording stick. I'm going to be using this thing for all of my future videos for the foreseeable future anyway. I mean, the last video I recorded, that was with this guy. Everything moving forward is either going to be on this camera or on my Maverick Air drone. Between those two things, I should be able to get everything I want. Some things like this, I'm recording on my camera phone. So anything where I need to pull out something real quick out of my pocket, I've got the camera phone for that. But other than that, I would say 90% of the recording right here on the GoPro. This thing does awesome. This is an awesome little vlogging camera. I don't know why more people don't use it. All right, so that's my video on review of my little GoPro vlogging rig here. If for some reason you're not familiar yet with the GoPro Hero 7, like, you need to check that thing out. There's tons of videos out there to go check out. I'm not gonna do a full-blown review of this thing yet. Hope you enjoyed this. I'm gonna have links to everything in the description for you to pick up. It was a cheap setup. You take the GoPro out of it, for sure less than $100 bucks. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.